Morning everyone, it's Mish here, and today we're going to do week 4 of the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge 2023. It's April, I believe it's April the 9th, Easter Sunday, and I am behind, so I've been just trying to catch up until we get to whatever the current week is. So let's get started. I'll be using my Moleskine sketchbook that I got at a yard sale. It's only lightweight paper. So this book, as I said, I got it at the yard sale, so the binding of some of the pages is starting to come apart. So I've put some tape down already for my background to sit on. So week 4 is the prompts that we're using today is something folded, housework, whatever that means to you, an ocean creature, a random piece of washi tape, an art scrap, and bonus is the wrapping paper. So I'm finding that with collage, I'm trying to find my style, and I do like sort of an art journal style. So I thought for my background, I would just start with just some random pieces of paper, collage paper. These are some of my art scraps, I guess. They're not my art actually, but it's pieces that I've used in another capacity. So I thought I'd just throw them down any old way. I've just torn them. So that was just some line paper, some music paper, a piece of dictionary. That's actually upside down. And I really don't want to put fascism upward, so we'll put fashion. That's sort of appropriate. And then that's just something from a book, some book. So I'm just gonna tack it all down. I'm leaving a little bit of a border this time instead of going right to the edges. As I said, I'm trying to get into my groove and kind of develop my own style. So I've got some tape down here already, so I can maybe start with this piece of book and just kind of bring the page together a little bit, sort of like use that as a little piece of tape. Think about it that way. Maybe I'll do the graph paper next. Stick that in there. I can stick that over there. A little bit of something on each side. And that seems to be holding pretty good there. But I'll stick some music paper there. So today, as I said, is Easter Sunday. We're going to actually have our dinner tomorrow, Monday. Going to have a nice ham dinner. I'm using just Elmer's glue just to glue it all down. I find that it works really well for collage. The thing about any kind of PVC glue, which I believe is what Elmer's glue is that you really don't want to put too much glue on sketchbook pages, because it warps the page. So I just try to use, but you don't need a lot. It's only paper on paper. Gosh, stuff that I did as a kid is still stuck down. I think we used Elmer's glue. I've been using Elmer's glue for a long time. So I'm just gonna do this randomly. I don't want to fill up the whole space. The other art scrap that I'm using is is this, and what it is I took some tracing paper. It's just it's almost like a deli paper. It's just tracing paper. Oops. And then I made a PowerPoint on the computer, and I just put some random images. I customized the page for a letter size, but you have to be careful to adjust your margins. So in the PowerPoint, I put it as landscape margins 8.5 by 11, which is a standard letter size sheet of paper. And then I put images on, and I put them to be quite transparent so that when they print it out, it's just a vague, you can hardly, I mean, it's come out pretty good on the video, but it's just sort of background. So, and then I printed it out on the tracing paper, but what you need to do first is just tack it either with some removable or temporary tape or glue stick onto just a sheet of paper. So I would just take it and tack it down. It's sticking to my paper, of course, that piece of glue. I would just tack it down on there, a little bit there, a little bit on, and make sure it's flat, so that when it goes through the printer, it has a carrier to take it through, and it's not going to jam. So yeah, and what I've already done is I've already put a bit of score tape on the back. So I'm just going to take that off. And I did it in little sections so that I could try to get it down in a reasonable fashion. Making sure that the sides, that's kind of, and again, it's art journaling, so I have to move away from trying to make sure that everything is exactly perfect, because it's not gonna. And I thought that tape would be a bit more transparent, but apparently it's not. Oh, I'll cover up most of it anyway. So this, like I said, is I was doing a different sort of journal, and I printed a bunch of these out randomly for just some background. So there that is, and that on video looks horrid, that tape. Oh well, who knew? So that's my art scrap. So then something folded. Well, let's just build this up, and then I'll get to the something folded. So then, so that's the background. And then I just thought I would use some, just again, this is just scrap paper that I had. So we'll use that as a background. So something folded, I thought would be laundry. And that goes in with the housework theme, folding laundry. I'm pretty good at, getting it in the washer, but sometimes it sits in the basket for a bit to be folded. And sweeping and mopping kind of go with the folded theme. And then for the, so that's something folded, an ocean creature. Well, I thought I'd go with, I got a couple creatures here, which I'm actually going to add. I'm going to build a little scene. So I started with a whale, and I've cut off his tail there, because the other thing that I don't necessarily enjoy doing is cleaning the bathroom. So I thought the whale, I made a little slit in the bathtub, would be kind of cool coming out of the bathtub. And then this had just like a mirror, just a piece of, I guess it was just a frame up against the wall. So I cut that out with my Fiskars blade, which is a pretty good blade. So I cut that out, and I went through all my stash to see what I had, and I found this little happy planner. So I flipped through that, and I came up with this image here, and that would fit in behind there. And it says, I don't know if you can read it, "She dreams of the ocean late at night." So I thought that was kind of cool. And the color scheme matches. I like things that match. The other kind of thing, kind of along the houseward line, is cleaning the toilet. And how fitting to have an octopus coming out of the toilet. And then I thought I had some other things there for embellishment. For the wrapping paper, which is a bonus, I had a couple of pieces of wrapping paper here. There was that, which I've used to cut a few dots that we're going to use for kind of embellishment. And I had saved this wrapping paper. I thought it was so pretty from a present I had been given. And I thought that it would be cool to use that kind of as the spout of the whale coming out a spout hole. So the other thing I did is I took a black pit pen, which is your brush style, and I went along and did some of the edges of the things, and then they have different colors. So this one here is the medium skin tone, and I went around some of the other embellishments that I'm going to be using. So I just want to quickly go around this here, because as you can see when I cut it, there's sort of like a white, and it's hard to get with a blade right up against that without wrecking your frame. Right here. I can kind of fix him kind of coming out like that. So he's stuck in. And then got some more tape. So I find collage very relaxing. The hardest part, which I've said before, is just getting all your images and trying to put the piece together. So there's the whale coming out of the tub. And then get my octopus down. So he's a surprise in the bathroom. The other thing I did, which you can't really see on there, is I rounded the corners, and with tracing paper I used my We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder. But you can't put that straight into the machine because it won't cut it. So what you do is you just kind of put another piece of paper behind it, like just a piece of scrap paper with a corner, and then you can put it through, and it will chomp just fine. So that's just a tip. So we're getting there. I just need to decide where I want to put my background color. I think I like to have it off to the side. Maybe off to that side. And do I want it peeking out the top or not? Yeah, I kind of like that. So we need to tack that down. Just make sure it's a little bit straight. So just put some glue underneath there and tack it down. It's kind of nice to leave the edges a little bit up, because then you can tuck things under if you get to a point where you want to tuck something under. So I'm ready to put that down. I'm going to put it down whether I'm ready or not. Okay, so we got that down. And then we'll get our toilet down, because definitely doing the toilet isn't a fun job. I don't really want the margins to line up, but it looks like it's gonna. Let's bring that over just a little bit then. Okay, and then on this page, I thought I had a starfish in my stash, so that would look cute. But I want to put some washi in too, so I'm gonna wait till the end to do my embellishment. So on this side, I wasn't sure about doing it that way, but I think I'll put it on this way. And I'm gonna make a little pocket out of this again to put my prompt in. And I'm just taking off the back of the tape. And just kind of look at the other side. Doing a 2-page spread like this can be limiting. Sometimes it's nicer to have a sketchbook that's ringed at the top of the side, so you have just one kind of sheet of paper instead of 2 pages, because it's hard to put a bigger image across the crack there. But it's what I had, and I thought, you know, to start out with the challenge, I didn't want to have to go buy any, you know, any materials and stuff, because I just had so much stuff in my stash. So that would work to put my prompt in. Which is cute. And then this is like a little clothes basket, again, something folded on the ground. If I can get its legs down, there we go. And just going back to your housework theme. Your broom. I got most of my images from Raw Pixel. You can have free images, as well as you can pay for an account. So I've got a couple starfish, which I thought would be cute. I could put that over the crack, I guess, but I don't really need to. I could put that up like that and hide that little spot there. I could do that. Why not? I'd rather it go over there, over her arm a little bit than. I like that one there. And I'm going to do just that. I'm going to put that like that, which is good. And then I have some washi tape. So I'm going to use some of that because I thought the color scheme went well with that. So let's get our starfish down. Which again are sort of ocean creatures, aren't they? You know, some of the animals and plants that we have are truly bizarre and amazing at the same time. So I'm just going to fold that and see what happens. I might have to cut it. Sometimes what I do, I have something in a crease, I kind of put a ruler in and close the book and see what happens. Elmer's glue is really good. I know there's all kinds of other glue, but for the price, which is, you know, very reasonable, it holds up pretty good. Okay, so right. So what next? That's because that's trying to flip up because of that crease. I think I'll leave his head up because I kind of like that. And should we put a spout on? I like that, and it fits with the theme of a piece of wrapping paper. So I'm going to put that kind of under his, on his blowhole, which I guess is about there, do you think? I could have lifted that up with a dimensional, but I don't want to add too much bulk to the book. Okay, so then the other thing that I kind of picked up are just some random little little starfish that I thought I could, you know, put on top of the basket. Stick down. I'll put the brown on. Sometimes when I'm working, you know, and I'm videotaping and I'm thinking, I stop talking, which is probably very boring for you guys. But like I said, it's all a process. And this, again, like I said, was pieces from that wrapping paper. It's a clear wrapping paper. So I don't know, technically, is it paper, but I do use it to wrap presents, particularly like baskets. Get that at the dollar store too. Okay, so then if we just kind of randomly put that in, I kind of like that placement. So we'll just put a little bit of glue on the back of that. This glue dries clear, which is another good thing. Some glues don't. I think I might put some washi tape there. Maybe a few pieces there. So maybe I'll just wait a second. I'm putting that down. So we got some nice looking washi tape here. I got most of this at, again, probably the washi shop for this one. And with washi, I just randomly putting it down. Trying to get it straight, or not straight. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt trying to find the edge to it, the ending. I love washi tape. I'm obsessed with washi tape. And the thing is, I seem to be, as with most things crafty, a collector, because you hoard stuff. I hoard stuff. I think, oh, if I use that now, I won't have any. If I have a project that that would be like perfect for, and you just gotta go and use it. Just be bold and say, I'm using washi today. And then stick her down. Have fun with it. Although I see some people use washi just as to hold down a die or you know, something that's just a throwaway, and I go, oh my gosh, don't do that. So we've got a little bit of washi. I love this one particularly, this that one there, I love it. You can probably hear Chester in the background. He talks a lot. So I don't know if you guys, he's an orange, that's nice. He's an orange cat. And he just talks nonstop. One of the things I do try to do is ground things. So, you know, have things that can sit on something, like the edge of this basket, the top of that, where the folded clothes are. There. But then if you're just doing background, just for embellishment, something like a star, it doesn't really matter. So is there anything that's not tacked down now? I think it's all good. Got that extra little bit. I think I need a little bit of washi down there. But how? I'll do the same thing, go this way. With this luscious washi. Just like we've taped down the pictures. Awesome. So we have something folded. We have quite a bit of housework. We have an ocean creature, random piece of washi. I've got art scraps, and bonus is our wrapping paper. So I think we've met the challenge. So the other thing I want to do is just do some background stamping. So like I said, I started as a kind of scrapbooker, and then went into card making, and then kind of went into art journaling, and never really figured out my style yet, but I do like doing stamping. And these stamps came from Art by Marlene. I love Art by Marlene. This is a different stamp set, but the one that I have is this one here, and it's stamp B4, stamp BM47. So that's the stamps that I'm using today, with just some Ranger archival ink. So I'm just going to be random about it. My hardest thing sometimes is choosing exactly. I love this one, just the little dots. So just go and do some little dots here and there. I think it just kind of draws it in. I clean my stamps with just some baby wipes. Just wipe them off before I stick them back in my case. Let them dry a minute. I kind of like that, and that kind of reminds me like of underwater and bubbles. So we'll stick a few of those down. Bring it together. And maybe one last, that's kind of smaller bubbles. Would that be too much of the same? That's just some little lines here and there. What about, I think that's looking good. What about maybe just some lines here? Over there. Little things in there, because that's a little bit, well, maybe I'll do a few of these. So I also have, you know, for littler stamps, especially that one, ones like that, I just use a little art block. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So then the last thing, because I just don't like that tape, we're gonna have to do something with that. So I'm gonna do some tracing around. So I'm just gonna maybe do a 0.3. So I'm just gonna use my Staedtler pigment liner 3. Yeah. And I'm just gonna do some doodling around the edges. Just to kind of go make like that darker line is part of the business. And then why not just do some dotting around the line, just kind of frame it a little bit. Be a little bit random. With your dots. And I think it's Marlene from Art by Marlene. Don't quote me on this, but I think she says that, you know, if you're not happy with it, then you're not finished. So if you do this and you don't like it, then just keep going until you like it. Now, I mean, I think there's a point of no return, obviously, but keep stamping, keep adding things. The first 3 of these that I did, I was kind of limiting myself to just the what was in the prompts and not really doing any kind of extras. Just don't like that. Yeah. So I think we can call that finished. So thanks for watching. I know this was a longer video, but that's the way it is. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next week. Okay, bye.